The Leave Your Legacy podcast is supported by Wise Financial. Wise Financial is a Northwestern Mutual private client group member. For over 20 years, Wise Financial has dedicated its efforts to designing comprehensive wealth management strategies for business owners and many accomplished athletes. Through their efforts, Wise Financial has been recognized as an industry-leading firm. The Northwestern Mutual Life Insurance Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Hello and welcome to the Leave Your Legacy Show. I'm your host, Kenyon, and in our entrepreneurial series, we're here at Tribute Kicks in the Coral Ridge Mall, where Zach Grant and Ian Johnston have really taken Coralville by storm with all these great shoes. We hope you enjoy the episode.
Well, fellas, thanks for joining the show today. First, let's give our audience a little bit of your background. So we'll start with you, Zach. It's for like, where you grew up and those kind of things, where you went to school, and then we'll hand it off to Ian. So
cool.
Yeah.
I grew up in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. 24 years old. Went to school at Jefferson. Graduated in 18. Moved on to Kirkwood. Went there for 2 years, and then just graduated at University of Iowa last year in 2022.
Okay, awesome. Ian?
So I'm from Cedar Rapids as well. I'm 22, graduated from the University of South Dakota, played golf up there the last few years. So
we'll kind of get into it, but it's kind of unique where you guys are, but what are some of the other things you did? I know, Ian, you play golf. So like, what are some of the jobs like you guys grew up doing? Because most people don't grow up saying I'm have my own business. It's usually like I'm gonna become this or I'm gonna become that. But what are some of the things you did before you two hooked up for Tribute Kicks?
I had a couple jobs. Like I coached basketball 2 years while I was in college.
Yeah,
I did youth basketball for 2 years with a buddy of mine. I thought that was a pretty fun job. And then I worked some seasonal help. I worked at the airport for a little bit, and I was just helping out wherever I could, and helped my cousin's bookstore out for a little bit. And then I had shoes as a side hustle too.
Gotcha. Ian, I know as a student athlete,
yeah,
you probably didn't have many jobs, but yeah, just tell us some of the things you did too.
Yeah, this is technically really like my first real job. I guess golf was my other real job because, I traveled a lot growing up, playing a lot of golf tournaments and stuff. And then, once I got to college, I was basically busy every day, and then kind of started the shoe thing early in my college career, and then, kind of took off from there.
Yeah, shoes are a big deal. And I know you guys kind of first, you met, basically you guys were trading shoes, buying shoes from each other, but what was it that, and we'll start with you, Ian, what was it that kind of perpetuated, or I guess maybe even helped develop this love of shoes and kind of the online trading back and forth? How did that start for you?
So it started back in I think it was 2020 for me. I honestly kind of saw what Zach was doing, and, I kind of got into a little bit of shoes and stuff. And then I believe he mentioned to me, he's like, hey, you should just start selling. And
yeah.
I'm like, I like that idea. And I had a bunch of personal shoes. I kind of just sold off, got some cash, and then kind of just started there and started flipping them from there. And it's kind of how I started.
Gotcha. So selling out of your closet.
Essentially, yeah, for a few years, yeah.
What about you, Zach?
Yeah, I know I started in high school. I was not really selling, but I was really into the shoes, really into the backstory, history behind it. I just remember there was a pair of KDs in Finish Line that I really wanted that my parents thought were ugly. And I'm like, hey, I need them. Yeah. They're like, no way. Got them for Christmas and got so many compliments. And I guess my love for sneakers really just kind of took off from there. Meeting Ian, it was really nice. We used to trade back and forth, meet up at Target all the time.
Always Target.
Yeah.
And that's where we kicked off.
So what was it, or who was it that was like, you guys need to take this, not only, first of all, you guys partner up, and then, okay, let's just get a store in Coral Ridge Mall. What was it, or who was it that kind of prompted these ideas for you guys to come together and start Tribute Kicks?
You do that one?
I'd probably say, I think it was definitely you and Jeff for sure. You guys were like, hey, what do you think? Store? Invited me over one day. I'm like, sure.
Yeah.
Let's do it. I'm down. Cool. Yeah.
I know Zach's definitely been thinking about it a lot. I think I first reached out to him in was it November or early December, kind of came together, and you're just like, hey, let's just do it. We've been doing it for a few years, and like I said, we've been connecting a lot, selling to each other, buying from each other, trading from each other. So we're just like, let's just do this thing together and let's just go make a business. And reached out to the mall and stuff and just kind of went from there.
Yeah, it's wild because 23, 24-year-olds like just don't have their own like storefront in malls.
Yeah.
So what was that process like? I mean, what was just talk to us a little bit about some of the planning that went into opening this up, because you're looking at you got to build, you got to lease space, you got to build it out, you got to have inventory. Like, what are some of the things, and you guys can kind of tag team it, but what was that process like for the both of you?
I was gonna say with the inventory part, I think we're mostly set. I think when we started, we had to combine probably like 350, 400 shoes. So we had a really good inventory start. And that was just from the build up from the past few years. And then honestly, getting into the mall wasn't too hard, I don't think. In my opinion, we really just reached out. We just looked up Coral Ridge Mall and then went to the website, reached out to a guy, and then started talking from there. And it was honestly, a very easy process for us.
Gotcha.
I agree. It was definitely a pretty easy process for us. I think maybe the only thing was like just like the little things that were adding up that we didn't really think of. Mm-hmm. That was probably the only part of the planning that we really didn't take into account for sure.
Gotcha. And there's always usually hidden stuff.
Oh, always.
Yeah, always. Especially when you're talking like you're in a building, you got to build out. There's always certain things you're like, okay, we didn't budget for that, or we didn't know we needed that. Yep. So was that part of your process too, figuring all that out?
I'd say too, it was especially tough for me because I was all the way up in South Dakota, so I was 5 hours away, and I wasn't back until May. So I think we signed the lease in like, what was it, pretty early in the year. So then we didn't get the keys till June. But essentially I was all the way up there. So Zach was just here. So I feel like that was kind of probably one of the tougher things. So
gotcha. Yeah. Cause that kind of leads into the next thing is like, what are some of the negatives that you guys have seen early? I know you've had a lot of success, so I think there's some definite positives, but talk to the audience about, this was just one of those things like maybe it was a hurdle. You're like, I don't know if we're going to get over it, or maybe this is going to stop us from even doing this. But what were some of the I guess the pitfalls or negatives that you guys face getting started? Okay. It can't be that. Can't be that easy.
I mean, probably honestly at the beginning, it was pretty tough for us to maintain the inventory.
Okay.
Because, we had all of our shoes, we had like 300 something spots on the wall. Mm-hmm. And like I said, it was honestly really good at the beginning. And then we had a lot of empty space, and, we didn't really anticipate that. I don't really like that's obviously not a negative thing. Yeah. But, it was just like, I would just say we were maybe a little bit under prepared on the inventory part and about how fast, we were going to get cleared out.
Gotcha. I mean, but that's like you said, it's a good sign because it seemed like, your first month, I don't know, it seemed like you had a really good first month, but then, how has it been since? Because I think you probably topped your first month in another month, but like you got to be so excited that there's been the reception that it has been by the public and you have people in. So yeah. So what's that feeling like, especially when you had your first sale? Like what was that like for you guys?
It was, I don't know. I was just like, wow, it happened. That was just like, wow. Okay. Like we didn't even like test it at first. We just like, we had our first sale and we were just like, oh yeah. Okay, cool.
I guess another big problem was the POS system.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. Yes. The POS system.
Okay. Now I remember that now. Cause we just had, some really big issues like the few days before. So, we were up at night thinking, hey, this isn't going to work. How are we going to get these sales done and stuff? And then luckily, somehow, I don't think we really did much, but just ended up working. And we were very, very, very worried about that for sure.
Gotcha. So I do have to ask this as business owners, because we've seen it, especially since COVID hit, it's been tough for businesses to find good, I would say help, but employees. How has that been for you? Like, what does your staff look like? I figure most of them are part-time employees, but how has that process been for you guys as far as getting people in to actually understand what you guys are doing, have the same kind of passion and be able to represent Tribute Kicks the way you guys want them to?
Yeah. So we have one part-time, help right now. And then we have a couple seasonal workers right now. The part-time guy, he's a friend of Ian's. So knowing him for a while, so we knew he was pretty good. And then our seasonal guys, we just kind of like, we did an interview process, made sure they like kind of knew the culture. A few of them have like kind of done what we've done in the past on the side. So we kind of knew that they were kind of good for it. And interviewing them, they had pretty good like social skills. I'm like, yeah, these guys are good for us.
That's awesome. They buy your shoes too.
Yeah. They were customers in the past too. So that also
all
helps.
of them were.
Yeah.
Essentially all the people who interviewed.
That definitely helps when you have people that love what you guys are doing before you get set up. But foundation and support is so important for anyone, and then let alone people that want to start their own business, be entrepreneurs. So what, Ian, I do, know your dad pretty well. So I wanted to ask just about the family support that you guys have gotten. Was there anybody that was like, you guys are crazy for trying to do this? Or was it like, go follow your dream? Because the one thing I say to kids nowadays is your passion can become your profession, and so that's kind of what you guys have created. So what was the family support like for the both of you?
I'd probably say like right at the beginning, I'd say like way like high school days, they're like, why are you spending that much on shoes? What are you doing? I'm like, trust. But now, yeah, ever since like I started like doing my own page and everything, like building that up into the store, they've been fully supportive.
Nice.
Yeah. I was gonna say the same thing with my dad. I mean, I feel like you maybe a little skeptical at the beginning. But, after kind of showing, what this can really turn to, I think he really kind of realized, hey, let's just do it. So. Yeah,
he sounds like he might be one of your best customers too.
He's definitely up there. Yeah. He likes being in there. So.
No, that's awesome. Yeah. Family support is so big, but so let's be real. You guys are young entrepreneurs, right? What would be advice if you had somebody come in, like, how'd you guys get started? Like, if there was another 20-something came up to both of you, what would you tell them when it comes to starting your own business, positive or negative? How about you, Ian? You start.
So we've actually had a lot of people ask this and stuff in store or just like online, reach out to us and stuff. But essentially, I would just say keep sticking to what you're doing. Just keep grinding. It's going to be a lot of work, but it will definitely pay off in the end. That kind of shows what we've been doing for the last 4 to 5 years, and really putting a lot of work to you can definitely achieve your dreams if you do that.
Gotcha, Zach.
Long nights, early mornings, traveling, doing sneaker events. I would just start it and just go for it. If you don't start it, you'll never know how it's like. So you just gotta, you're gonna have your trials, you're gonna have your ups, you're gonna have your downs. You just gotta start it.
That really, I think if you can pass on knowledge to younger people like that, I think it gives them hope. I think in today's age, like, it's just not traditional anymore, like traditional schooling and things like that. Like we said, you can get to where you want to be through different avenues. And so I think the more you guys talk to people and pass that along, not only is it going to build, your brand, but it's also going to give other people hope. And I think that's the one thing, especially young people want nowadays is hope, people to believe in them, to move forward. And so it's super awesome that you guys have had that kind of support. But Tribute Kicks, the name. So tell us a little bit of how you guys came up with the name. Obviously, I love the T-shirts and everything you guys do. But where did Tribute Kicks come from?
So we actually had like a little drawing for our name.
Okay.
We asked everybody, hey, we'll give you some in-store credit if you come up with a name. Right when we put that post out, I got a phone call from one of my buddies. He calls me and says, hey, I got a great idea. I was going to name my brand Tribute, and, like a dedication to, you can dedicate to anybody. And we thought, you know what? That's actually a really good name.
Yeah.
And then we put that right at the top of the list. And then it kind of just stuck ever since. So
yeah, well, that's awesome. And that's too. It's like somebody's they're gonna be out there like they wouldn't have the name if it wasn't for me, kind of thing. But that's really cool. I just think another way that you guys really connected with your customers and people that were really interested in what you guys were doing. So I want to know, and I've seen this. I know you guys were highlighted as far as contributing back to certain nonprofits and things like that. So from the profits that you guys, get, where you donate the money, and if there's any stories behind, why you're donating, where you're donating, we'd love for you to share with the audience.
Yeah. So essentially, we've had some stuff within my family. I've had my mom pass away, and then my brother passed away too. So two unfortunate things. But essentially, we wanted to use the name Tribute to tribute to those, who we lost and stuff. So every month we donate money to like substance abuse substance abuse places, mental health kind of facilities.
Yeah.
And we've been doing that every month since July.
Okay.
So it's definitely, very something that hits home to us. And we've had a lot of people come in, hear about our story, and like, yeah, this is the reason why we shop with you and stuff, is because, we want to help give back to the community as well.
Yeah.
That's really good to hear for us.
That's awesome. No, I mean, we need it. We know that mental health, substance abuse, that those aren't going away.
No.
And to be able to have, first of all, to have, once again, two young guys that have this big picture, right? It's not just about, the selling and buying of shoes. There's a bigger meaning to what you guys do every day. And sometimes those are the things that we need to push us to be successful. And so, kudos to you guys for doing that. And I know, obviously, Ian, I know your story. And so for you guys to continue to pour into that, it's unbelievable. And I think more people should know about it.
Yeah,
I mean, that's the one thing we need to get it out there.
Definitely.
So hobbies outside of what you do. I mean, honestly, I know it can be all consuming sometimes. It's like, do you do anything else but go to the mall and run the store every day? But what are some of the things you like to do outside of the store?
Well, here's the thing, is that the shoes were the hobby, and now I'm trying to find a new hobby.
Gotcha.
But no, I probably, play some video games, play basketball in a league every once in a while, and then that's pretty much it right now. Trying to find something new to do on the side.
Gotcha.
Always trying to do something new. So
Feel that. Yeah. So essentially, golf is still my hobby. I've been playing that all my life. So, it's always been very fun for me to play. And I'd say video games too. I mean, we were playing last night and stuff. So we play almost every night now.
Yeah,
so.
you guys are, you're in your 20s. So you guys get to do that. All right. So one of the things I love to do is like rapid fire questions. So these should be fun. And we'll start with you, Zach. Cake, pie, or cookie?
Cookie. That was
All day.
easy. All day. All day.
What
Give me
about
a
you?
chocolate chip cookie. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I'd probably go with cake.
Okay, cake. Okay, what's your favorite cake?
I'll go chocolate.
Chocolate cake. Okay.
Yeah.
White frosting, chocolate frosting.
Probably chocolate frosting.
Okay.
I like
Gotcha.
that.
You just going chocolate
Straight
all the way
chocolate,
through.
yeah.
All right.
That's all I need.
That's cool. All right. If you could switch places with anybody in the world for a month, who would it be and why?
So the first thing I thought of was just like The Rock. I don't know. I think that just living that lifestyle would be really cool. And he's always been like someone I've always really looked up to. So I think probably him, honestly.
Gotcha.
Probably say Dwayne Wade. Just
Dwayne
because he's the GOAT. And I'd probably talk about
Okay,
him
hold
all
on.
Yeah.
Okay,
Did you just say Dwayne Wade is the
did.
GOAT?
Hold
Yes,
on.
he did.
Yes.
Yes, he did.
We got to talk about this one now,
He
Zach.
thinks he's the GOAT. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I might talk about him a little bit too often
every day.
in the store. So, yeah, probably Dwayne Wade. So,
That's a first for me right there. Definitely. All right. If you could travel anywhere in the world and spend a week there, where would that be?
So the first place I thought of was like Scotland.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of where golf was created. So I've always wanted to go there, and always have wanted to go there, and especially spend a week up there and as much as I can.
So you're not weaving that into maybe honeymoon plans or something like that?
We got some things coming in. So
Yeah, that's awesome. What about you, Zach?
I'd probably say like Tokyo.
Okay.
I just think it'd be like a really cool, like, it's just so different there, I feel like. And it's like I don't know, I just really want to experience it. It's just something different. Really.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, I'm going to ask you something, and you're probably not prepared for it, but I want you to, because I want it to be organic when it comes out, but what does legacy mean to you guys? Or leaving a legacy, however you want to put it. I mean, because you guys are doing that now, we talk about like everybody leaves a legacy because there's someone always looking to you for inspiration or support or motivation. And so I think for me, like it's important that whatever we do, like we take that responsibility that we're helping maybe the next generation, or even if it's a sibling. But what does leaving a legacy mean to you two?
I'd probably say just like, giving back, helping people. And like, just, I'd say like, actually yesterday it was kind of cool. One of my girlfriend's like relatives reached out to me. They got like a younger sibling, he's like 13 years old-ish, and reached out to me and said, hey, he really looks up to you. He's really like, he really admires like some of the stuff you do with like shoes, because he's really big shoe head. He kind of listens to the same music I do.
Yeah.
And he kind of like really connected with me when I first met him. And she just like reached out like literally yesterday and just said, yeah, he really reaches or looks up to you, admires you. And I don't know, it just kind of hits that little spot in your heart right there. So I just think it's really nice to just like be a role model for people.
Absolutely.
I really like it.
Love it.
For sure. Yeah. I mean, I'd kind of say the same thing, just being a role model. Like I kind of said earlier, when people come in and say, hey, we shop with you guys because, you guys get back, that really means a lot to us. And, we really hope that we can continue that, and really leave, we can like cement our name. So.
Gotcha. Well, fellas, I really appreciate you guys coming on the show today. I think if there's anything, be motivated. It doesn't matter how young or old you are. You can start your own thing. If you have passion behind it, you have support behind it. Like it's awesome. I think, like I said earlier, young people nowadays have so many more options possibly than we did growing up, because we always were told the traditional route. And now to be able to see that your closet passion has become a storefront, and you guys are doing really well there. I think that is amazing. And you guys are definitely role models to anyone that shops in the store, anyone that wants to do what you guys do. So I just want to say thank you for coming on the show today.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thanks for having us.
You, yeah.
Absolutely.
This podcast is sponsored by Storyline Multimedia. Storyline is an Iowa City-based media company that specializes in creating high-quality video, photo, and audio productions for local businesses. Not only that, but they also produce a number of podcasts, including this one. So if you're interested in sharing the story of your business with the world, contact them today by visiting StorylineMultimedia.com. And remember, your story matters.